we started nothing but a dream, with nothing but a dream, and that's how the Marlin Award started.
Let me go!
This is the time we're ready. Everybody, we praying from night till morning. Get up strong, yeah, faith making me strong. Oh yeah, we not turn around. Oh yeah, help me sing this song.
Yeah. Kingdom daughters. Whoa. She looked in at the magazine, saying she should look like that, so she compares herself to the madam and loses her self-esteem. Yeah, so she starts skipping meals too, going about things the wrong way. In her mind, says she got to be slim and trim like the girl from Hollywood.
Hi, my name is Alyssa Joseph, and I'm from the beautiful Twin Island nation, Trinidad and Tobago. I was born in San Fernando, that's the southern part of Trinidad. Both my pre and primary school were in central Trinidad. My secondary school years were split in Central and also Port of Spain, that's the northern part of Trinidad. And I was heavily involved in singing in school. I would sing at graduations, any function, any school function that we would have, I would be heavily involved singing the national anthem and all that kind of stuff. So my parents told me from the time I started to speak, I always loved singing. I would be humming around the house when songs played on the radio, on the TV. I would always catch on to it quickly, and they realized that I had a passion for singing. So they wanted to nurture that talent, and I went to vocal training at the age of 3. And from there, I learned a lot of different genres like opera, hip-hop, R&B, classical, but all gospel. And yeah, that's where I got my start. From that, it was just history. I recorded my first gospel single when I was 9 years old. It's called Cry for Peace, and that sparked my interest for writing music. So from then I started to write songs, and I released my first single that I wrote when I was 11. It's called You Fill Me Up. The Lord has tremendously helped me in my ministry. He would plant songs into my spirit. He would bless me with the opportunity to record 18 songs and also to write so many of them. God also gave me the opportunity to perform at so many different events, concerts, sport events, church functions, funerals, weddings, a lot of different things. So God really tremendously blessed me in my ministry.
Next up from Trinidad and Tobago, it's Alyssa Joseph.
So my parents recognize my talent, and my mom has a boutique, so when I'm in the store, she would always tell me, sing something for them, and people would always gravitate to my ministry. I worked with producers like Nigel Lopez, Shaka Pro, Keith Israel, Zion from Illusion Studios, Ruel Lynch, and also Garth Sinnett, and I also collaborated with gospel minister Samantha Johnson. I'm so blessed, honored, and grateful for the nominations, and I'm grateful that Marlin Awards recognize gospel ministers from all over the world, so I'm really grateful, honored, and blessed. When I heard that I got 9 nominations, I was so excited. My mom and I, my entire family, we were just so overwhelmed and grateful and just screaming with excitement. I believe I was home when I heard the news. My mom said that Ruel Lynch and DJ Don from the Bahamas sent her a link from Facebook with this guy just announcing the big news, and yeah, I was just so excited, but I was home.
Now, who is the 2022 Junior World Champion? Drum roll, please. Alyssa Joseph from Trinidad and Tobago. Congratulations.
I believe that Marlin Awards is doing a really great job at recognizing gospel ministers from all over the world, and they're giving us an opportunity, a platform to showcase our hard work, showcase our ministry in one space, and that's such a blessing. I have some songs that were already written and I'll release them later on this year. I have no plans right now for an album, but I really hope that I do one at some point in time. I would advise to make sure that God is your focus and don't lose that focus when you're writing music, when you're doing anything when it comes to ministry. Make sure that God is your focus.
Get ready for the Marlin Youth Fest and Concert, Friday, July 25th. All roads lead to the Miles Monroe Diplomat Center, featuring live performances from Akeem Gardner, Mark Isaacs, Alyssa Joseph, Davian Chase, Nisha Woods, Joshua Ali, Kay Anthony, Chosen Soldiers, Timothy Roberts, Kenyatta Taylor, and more. It all starts at 7 p.m. with music by DJ Godson. It's the Marlin Youth Fest and Concert, Friday, July 25th at the Miles Monroe Diplomat Center. Tickets are $10 in advance, $15 at the door, and children are just $5 at the door. Youth groups with 10 or more teenagers also get their tickets for only $5 each. Get your tickets today at All Seasons Book and Gift Center in the Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Logos Bookstore in the Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza, and the Oasis Bookstore and Cafe at the Diplomat Center. There'll be lots of prizes, surprises, and giveaways. Don't miss the Marlin Youth Fest and Concert, Friday, July 25th.
Trinity, I'm ready. For you, yeah. If you have got your hand in the air, put your hand in the air. Put your hand in the air. On the song. So let me hear you sing. It's sweet. Walnut, pull that. Somebody scream. One time. Come on.
Hi, so my name is Mark Isaacs, and I am from the beautiful Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Born and bred, spent most of my life in the beautiful village of Santa Cruz. Very nice valley, it's a very nice village. And yeah, Trini born, Trini boy. So, doctors told my mother that I had severe asthma, so I would not have been able to do strenuous activities like playing for too long or like running or singing or all those different things. They said that because of my severe asthma, I wouldn't be able to do that. But God had a totally different plan. And I didn't feel like I was musically inclined from a very early age. Up until, now this is a funny story, up until primary school, after we do the SEA examination, like there's a little lull period. So in that lull period, I remember standing up on the desk in my class, and I was shouting at the top of my lungs, just having a good time, just doing what mischievous kids do, is having a good time. And the teacher walked in, and for punishment, she sent myself and a couple of my friends to the school choir, the primary school choir. And we went to the choir. Of course, I didn't want to go to the choir because I played football. I felt like the choir was like, for the not cool kids, and I wanted to be a part of the cool kids, and all the cool kids was playing football. She's like, I don't want to go in the choir, whatever. So, long story short, went to the choir, and the choir master was like, but this young boy, he can sing. And calling my parents, and then my parents sent me to the Love Movement Choir, Love Movement Children's Choir, and I was a part of that setup. And that's where I more or less started, my musical journey kind of started there.
Let's go! Over hills and valleys, yeah. Mountain tops and seas. What we do? Taking it round the world. Taking the gospel round the world. Let me see you. Sing it.
I was in Bible College, the Caribbean Nazarene College. Shout out to the Caribbean Nazarene College. And I remember for all of us who went to university, there's a time period where you really don't have any money. And you need money. So I remember a friend of mine, John Yard, he had this instrumental from a producer, played it for me, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna write a song, and we're gonna go to the producer, and I'm gonna sell the song for $200, yeah, which is about what? About 30 US. So that was the plan. Sell the song for 30 US so that I could buy some stuff because we were in Bible school. Fast forward, get to the producer the next day. He doesn't know who I am. I record the song and he was like, yeah, you're not selling this song. I had to borrow $20 from the producer to travel home. And that song, it not just took me all over the world singing, but it actually gave me my first Marlin Award nomination. That song was Good Morning.
Good morning, good morning. Leaving the troubles at all. Yeah. Coming in the morning. Just smile and say good morning. Good morning, good morning. Come on. Leaving the troubles at all. The joy coming in the morning. Just smile and say good morning. All right, hold on.
I believe that doing music is skill and spirit, and it goes hand in hand. You know, it is very important if you believe that you're called to do this ministry that you sharpen your skill. And in Ecclesiastes 10:10, it talks about a dull axe. It takes more work to cut down the tree, but so you have to sharpen the axe. And as a musician, you have to sharpen the axe. But also, you have to be spirit-filled and spirit-led when you're doing this type of ministry. So I believe, God is at the center of everything that I do. The message remains the same through all the music. Even though I might sing about different topics, everything revolves around Christ. And the heart of the music is really to bring people closer to Jesus Christ. Whether we're talking about praise, whether we're talking about love, whether we're talking about hope, whatever it is, at the center of it is Christ. So, Christ is the center of it all. That's what I'll say. People saw the gift and talent way before I saw it. Even though I come from a musical family on my mother's side, I guess when I was young, in primary school and Sunday school, church folks saw that I could sing, and they pulled me into the worship team, and I was singing one song, two songs, and then it just kind of grew from there. And my first album was entitled Mercies, and I believe that was in 2016. Recorded that album, worked with some really amazing people as well. This year, I'm always grateful to be recognized or to have the work that I do recognized by anybody. And the Marlin Awards really has a special place in my heart. But this year is extra special because the last 2 years, I got married, big up wifey one time, and we had we have a beautiful baby girl. And I remember just before getting married, I was working on a couple projects, so I had to put that on pause. And then baby girl came, so everything, the timeline that I was working with just got pushed back. I was still able to release some projects, but not, all the projects that I wanted to. So I really wasn't expecting anything, to be honest. But to still be able to be recognized for the projects that I did is a blessing. And I want to say thank you to the Marlin Award executive and the whole committee, and of course the Caribbean diaspora. Love you guys. So this year I'm nominated for 3 Marlin Awards. How do I feel about the number? Grateful, thankful. Like I said, I wasn't expecting any because I know that I have so much work that I'm working on right now. But I'm grateful nonetheless. Thank you guys again.
Let me go till morning. We keep up the rain start pouring. We go praise until the dew falling down, 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 down. Let me go till morning. Can't answer my phone if you're calling. Me and the Father here in a meeting now.
The Marlin Awards committee, the Marlin Awards on a whole, I think they have been very consistent in creating a platform for not just recognizing and rewarding gospel music and gospel ministers, but creating a platform for the person who is just starting, the person who is very seasoned, and the person, all different groups of people to, be a part of a Caribbean coming together to celebrate gospel music. And I'm grateful to the Marlin Awards Committee because I remember myself, first time I went to the Marlin Awards, my local church, they were picking up money. I only had one song, and that was Good Morning. And people were picking up money to send me to the Marlin Awards, and I just went for the experience. I didn't win anything, or I wasn't awarded, but the reward that I got from that first experience was building relationship and networking and being able to see gospel music being celebrated at a high standard, and all these artists who have been doing it for such a long time, and being able to have those conversations with them, and leaving that first Marlin Awards really, steered my mind in a direction, and it was so inspiring. I came back and I just hit the ground running, and they say the rest is history, but the rest is really God's story. And so I'm always grateful for the Marlin Awards, and I think that every opportunity that I get to be a part and to celebrate with the Marlin Awards, I'll take it, and I'll encourage anybody to do so, because more than just the awards, the relationships and the network and the people and the inspiration, and I think that for me is the most rewarding thing. There's a formula that I think everybody in ministry should use. This is my opinion. Get planted, know where you're being planted. When your season comes, know how to maximize it. And when it's not your season, know what to do so that you don't find yourself in places and spaces where, you could be negatively compromised.
The Bahamas and the Caribbean will come together to celebrate the 29th anniversary of the Caribbean Gospel Music Marlin Awards. Sunday, July 27th at the Miles E. Monroe Diplomat Center, beginning at 6 p.m. Performing live will be Aaliyah Coley, Mark Isaacs, Cara T. Newton, Sherwin Gardner, Janae Gibson, Nigella, Colin Christopher, Kay Anthony, Iman, Nisha Woods, Davian Chase, Edison Sumner in Voices of Praise, Akeem Gardner, and Noel Robinson. Tickets are $30 in advance and $35 at the door, and you can get them at All Seasons Book and Gift Center, Logos Bookstore, and Oasis Bookstore and Cafe. That's the Caribbean Gospel Music Marlin Awards, Sunday, July 27th, beginning at 6 p.m. The Marlin Awards, encouraging excellence and growth in Caribbean gospel music.
I woke up in my right mind and so I'm straight. Not a millionaire, but food is on my plate. Hit the studio in a mood to create. I'm still living by my fate, yo. I got no complaints, even if he doesn't show up, he done showed up. Every day's a blessing, even when it ain't all kosher. May not be where I wanna, by grace I'm getting closer. Tell my problems he's Jehovah, I'm just grateful it ain't over, he's still working on me.
My name is Emmanuel Fertil, better known as Iman. I'm from the beautiful island of the Bahamas. Well, I was born and raised in the Grove. I was born Oxford Avenue, the Grove, and then we moved over to 3rd Street, the Grove, when I was 11. Growing up, it was tough. Didn't have much, but we had each other. I had 4 siblings, 3 sisters, 1 brother. My father worked hard. My mother was a housewife. Like I say, we didn't have much, but we had each other, and that made it enough. I wanted to be like my father. When I was growing up, I wanted to be a carpenter. I also wanted to be an engineer. Music wasn't something I ever thought I'd be doing today. I really grew up wanting to be a carpenter. Yeah. I got into music. My family, we always went to church. I started out in the children's choir. In church, I used to sing a lot. Never thought I'd be a rapper, especially my favorite singer during my childhood was Celine Dion. I love those songs a lot, and I sang a lot. Even in church, it wasn't gospel, but I sang a lot of Celine Dion songs in church. It wasn't until my cousin told me, I didn't sound masculine. And for lack of a better word, told me I didn't sound masculine. And so I stopped singing. I never sang again after that. Until he gave me a Eminem CD. An Eminem CD when I was about 11. I was 10. He gave me an Eminem CD, listened to that. I heard the way he would pour his soul out on the beat and talk about his life, his mom and stuff like that. And that's how I initially got into music. Never thought I'd be doing it, but that's how I was introduced to music. I never took music seriously. I just loved writing music. But I always felt like I always used to push and let people know, like, hey, I'm gonna be a rapper one day, but I never really knew I was gonna take it serious. But people used to put me down. I would never be a rapper. So a lot of things really tried to hinder me. My teachers, my peers, even siblings, like, would try to hinder me from doing music. And so I never took it serious until I was about 17. And I said, okay, this is what I want to do for real. And I think what drove that for me was the way people counted me out for it. My first recorded song, I was 17. It was called Keep Your Head Up. It was because of the people who tried to discourage me, people that spoke down on me. So my first song was called Keep Your Head Up. It was me sharing the way people would put me down and stuff like that. And when I finally made it to the studio and did my first song, I just wanted to encourage people, like, keep your head up, like, regardless of people putting you down and the naysayers saying things, the negative things. So I wanted to encourage people to keep their head up. So when I first started doing music, I was doing secular at first. That wasn't working too well at all. But I started going in clubs and stuff like that. Even when I was 14 to like 16, I was in like clubs and stuff like that, this little boy, just trying to prove people wrong. But when I started doing gospel music, I went over to the Hope Center, and that's when I spoke to Carlos Reed, and I let him hear something that I wrote, and that's when he was like, "You could be a soldier," because they had a group called Platinum Soldiers around the time, and he was like, "You could be a soldier," and that's when I joined the Platinum Soldiers, and from then things started really taking off. So when I got into it, when I started recording more and ministering more, and it wasn't really about ministry. I really didn't have anybody to tell me or teach me the principles of ministry and maintaining a godly character. And so because of that, I made a lot of mistakes. I did a lot of things I shouldn't have done, speaking to people I shouldn't have been speaking to, doing things I shouldn't have been doing. So at the beginning, initially, it was really rocky for me. The enemy really came for me and really tried to take away from what God had for me to do early on. And so even now, because I went through it that way, when I talk to the younger generation, I always tell them, like, seek Jesus, like, you seek Jesus for real and learn to know him for real, because this isn't just about music, this isn't just ministry, this is a battlefield and the enemy is coming. So I encourage people to seek Jesus. When I first heard I was nominated for the Marlin Awards, and this was the first time ever being nominated, I was actually at the nominations, sitting there, and then I heard my name got called. I was excited. I was elated because I grew up on the Najee Dunn, the Manifest, and the Christopher, these people who won Marlin Awards in the past, and now for me to get to the point of actually being nominated for one, that's very exciting. I counted a milestone in my musical journey. I think the Marlin Awards is actually necessary. I think when you are able to be recognized and awarded for your hard work, because as an artist, we pour a lot into putting in the music, the lyrics, the videos, and the performances and stuff like that. And so to be awarded, I think it gives you a sense of encouragement to keep going, not just to keep going, but for the upcoming generation and people to look at you and also be encouraging and want to push forward to get to that level as well. So I think the Marlin Awards, especially in this generation where I feel music is dying, is very much so needed. I feel honored. I feel honored. I think it's an opportunity to connect more with different artists in the Caribbean and create different sounds and bring something new to the Bahamas and the Caribbean in general. So I think this is an awesome opportunity, and I'm definitely here for it. Next coming for me, I'm working on an album right now. It's called This God of Mine. A full Afrobeat project. It's dropping this summer. Advice I would have for anybody just starting music and coming up out, I would say two things. Number one is consistency is key. You can't expect to make a name for yourself without consistency. The more people see you, the better your name grows, and you are able to spread the gospel and the mission that you are on more. Number two, I'd always say seek Jesus and seek community, because you're gonna need those things. Like I said before, this is a battlefield, and you're gonna need community on this journey.
Hi everyone, I'm Noel Robinson, songwriter, worship leader, and a passionate servant of the gospel through music for over 30 years. Wow. I am absolutely thrilled to be attending the 2025 Caribbean Gospel Music Marlin Awards in the beautiful Nassau, Bahamas. It is such an honor to be part of this incredible celebration of kingdom creativity, excellence, and Caribbean gospel artistry. You know, for me, music has always been more than just melodies and lyrics. It is ministry. It's about encountering God, whether in a small local church in London or on a global platform. And that's why events like the Marlin Awards matter. They amplify voices and ministries that are impacting lives across nations. I want to encourage all recording artists, musicians, worship leaders, and industry professionals to make it a priority to attend the industry seminar and luncheon happening on Saturday, July the 26th. Registration kicks off at 8 a.m. and the sessions begin at 9 a.m. sharp. This is your chance to be poured into, to receive practical tools, prophetic insight, and build genuine connections with fellow creatives and industry veterans. It's not just an event, it is a divine appointment. And let's come together, sharpen one another, and continue to elevate the sound of the gospel from the Caribbean to the world. You know, I see you in Nassau, and I'm excited about it. God bless you, and let's change the atmosphere together.
The Bahamas and the Caribbean will come together to celebrate the 29th anniversary of the Caribbean Gospel Music Marlin Awards. Sunday, July 27th at the Miles E. Monroe Diplomat Center, beginning at 6 p.m. Performing live will be Aaliyah Coley, Mark Isaacs, Cara T. Newton, Sherwin Gardner, Janae Gibson, Nigella, Colin Christopher, Kay Anthony, Iman, Nisha Woods, Davian Chase, Edison Sumner in Voices of Praise, Akeem Gardner, and Noel Robinson. Tickets are $30 in advance and $35 at the door, and you can get them at All Seasons Book and Gift Center, Logos Bookstore, and Oasis Bookstore and Cafe. That's the Caribbean Gospel Music Marlin Awards, Sunday, July 27th, beginning at 6 p.m. The Marlin Awards, encouraging excellence and growth in Caribbean gospel music.